Welcome into the Slobberknocker Sports Podcast, episode 85. We're here today. We've got NBA Finals matchup set. OKC Thunder, the number one seed in the West, taking on the surprise of the playoffs and the Indiana Pacers, who took care of the Knicks in Game 6 a few nights back. We've got
Tyrese Halliburton and the boys. That's big dogs guy now.
Did Tyrese win Eastern Conference Most Valuable Player?
No, but I heard it was funny that he went to go accept the trophy, and it was like a real life. I know what is that guy's name? It's on the Drewski did it for jokingly at the celebrity game. He had 2 points, and they're like in the winner, and he just starts walking up towards the trophy. But it's it was real. Yeah, it was real.
Yeah,
it was real this time.
He really thought he was the MVP, and he was not. He had 8 points in the last game, and he was terrible in Game 5. He was up and down the whole series. That's who he is. But we also have a Stanley Cup Finals rematch. Panthers, Oilers. You didn't call it off the jump.
Credit to me. I called it. Big dog style. I think it was my third prediction.
That's right.
But I did call it, and it was probably sealed in an envelope with Bailey somewhere.
And actually, if it weren't for me, you would have changed it. You actually were going to go Stars versus
Right.
Panthers.
Then I reconsidered
said your original pick was that.
You already called the matchup. I was like, oh yeah, you're right.
I didn't realize it was your third call. So
No, I think it was technically
your second.
My second. Then I tried to switch it again, and you wouldn't let
back.
me. So
I didn't let you, but
you held me to it.
You're welcome. And you did say the Panthers are going to win.
Yeah, they're still going to win the Stanley Cup. They're going to break Edmonton's heart again.
I think they're a short dog. They're
oh, are they?
Well, it's minus 120 versus even money. I
wouldn't have guessed. I would have thought they were a short favorite. I would have guessed Florida minus 140. I know Edmonton's cruising, but it's just Edmonton in playing his best. Bobrovsky, the goalie, for people that don't know at home, I know we got a lot of Texas people here, is unbelievable. Little Russian fuck. He's 5'7", and in pads he looks big. My buddy Sean, who's a big hockey guy, was like, "Have you seen what he looks like standing next to actual normal sized goalies?" And he's a foot shorter than him. It's hilarious. He's tiny. He's unbelievable goalie.
I had no idea.
Stuart Skinner. And I always forget the other guy's name for Edmonton. I don't know. It's just, to me, Florida's already done it. I know that Edmonton won that 3 in a row, right, to get to Game 7 last year, but I don't know. I'm going with the reigning champs with the better goalie.
I'll let you break it down a little bit when we get to the Stanley Cup, but I think you said it well there. We'll break down the Stanley Cup Finals preview. We'll do a preview of the NBA Finals. We'll have some NFL stuff as we're approaching, not the season, but we're inside of 100 days. I think we were 100 days away from the season last week, so we're 94 days away.
We'll have to get once this the Stanley Cup and basketball is over, we'll have to get to college football. Get our college football people on here.
We also have the Belmont Stakes this weekend. That is the last of the Triple Crown races. That will be on Saturday. So we do have
they haven't run that yet?
That's on Saturday. Let's dive in. We're going to go to a few things. Actually, before I go to some video, I want to give a shout-out to Smithson Valley Baseball.
Oh, yeah, that's Thursday.
Yeah, I thought it was Thursday. It's actually Friday, so it's Friday night at 7 p.m. If you want to go.
Are you going?
Yeah, I'm going to go.
Yeah, I'm going to try to go. That'd be fun to go.
We should go up to – it's at Dell Diamond. So if you're if you're in the San Antonio area, if you're a follower of the show and you are a supporter of San Antonio Athletics, Smithson Valley going for their first ever state championship in baseball. They had been to the state tournament 3 times before, and I believe lost all 3 games by 7 or more runs. They just got smoked every time they played, and they were always 1-game series, because previous to this, in every category of high school sports, I won't get too far into it, but there was 1 bracket per classification. So there was 1 bracket for 6A, for 5A, for 4A, and that was the case for every sport with the exception of football. Football has always been 2. For some reason this year, they decided in all sports, when they reclassed, to do Division I and Division II for every sport. Because of that, the negative, and I can't stand that they did this, it is fun because you have teams making deeper runs than they probably would have otherwise.
Right.
And that's not to take anything away from a team who's there, but you're taking out half of the teams. but it got rid of the state tournaments of everything. So previously, like basketball, it always had a state tournament. Now they only play the state championships at the Alamo Dome, or it used to be at the Irwin Center. Same thing for baseball. They would always play the state tournament at Dell Diamond, the Final Four, and it would be 1 game semi, 1 game final, which I don't really love, to be honest, because a lot of them play 2 out of 3 the whole way, and then you go to 1 game.
So now in the semis you can play best 2 out of 3.
Correct, and that's why Smith and Valley played against, I believe it was Barbers Hill. Yeah. And Barbers Hill, weirdly enough, it was Smith and Valley versus Barbers Hill in baseball and softball in the semifinals.
That is funny.
State semis.
Did the girls lose?
Girls lost. Boys won. Boys swept them. Barbers Hill had not lost a playoff game. They were 2-0, swept everybody all the way up, and then Smith and Valley beat them 4-0, 4-1. And also, last thing I'll say about this, but go up to Dell Diamond, support Smith and Valley. I know they're Spring Branch or whatever, or Comal, but they're really a San Antonio area school. But there's a couple kids. There's 5 kids on the team.
Dylan taught them everything they know.
Especially the hit and run.
Yes. JVB, the team was.
If anybody who played for me remembers that, you know what the hit and run was.
Dylan taught them all the fundamentals.
JVB team champs, baby, 2022.
I told my sister-in-law that story, who coached high school softball, because she played softball in college. And I was like, the guy I do the podcast with was the JVB coach at Smith Valley. I'm like, when I tell you he knows nothing about baseball, he knows nothing about baseball. He played like a couple years growing up. We had 1 team at St. Pius, which was fun.
I pitched 8th grade year.
That's hilarious. Yeah. And
started 3 games, was 2-1. 2-1, baby.
That speaks volumes to the league.
That's right. He just said
how bad the league is.
Coach Sunday told me, just throw hard, Dylan. Just throw hard.
Coach Sunday coaching them up. Love it. I find it strange that they've never won a state title, but obviously they won their first state title in football, which is nuts. It's hard to win state titles.
It is hard to win state titles. Shout out to my boy Trey Morgan, because in the regional semis, they were playing Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial, who was 28-2, and it was game 3 in a tied 1-1 series, and the Rangers were down 6-2 in the bottom of the 7th, final inning.
Wow.
And so Bryce Wells,
and this was a must-win game?
This was the elimination game, because they had each won 1 game. It was game 3.
Shit.
It was game 3 is 6-2. So Bryce Wells hits a double or a triple that scores 3 runs. And so he's on third with no outs. So now it's 6-5. The next 2 guys strike out, and Trey Morgan has to come to the plate with 2 outs, season on the line. I mean, the comeback in itself was crazy, but then you have to go up there, and he had a really bad back injury and missed most of the district season. Came back, and through the games he's played is hitting over 400.
Is he the kid that played on your basketball team too?
He played 1 year, but it was the last year.
Oh, okay.
You probably don't know him.
Yeah.
But got delivered with a single, tied the game, and then they ended up walking it off in the bottom of the 9th and won it, and now they're in the state championship with a chance to win it. So crazy.
Yeah, it seems like whenever you win a state championship, there's always a game like that. You typically never but the one thing I will add before we move on is, if this is the case, if there is no state tournament with the semis and the final, they should play best 2 out of 3.
100% they should.
You just play like you have the 1A, 2A, 3A play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then you have
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday,
or whatever. Or you play Tuesday, and then you have the other schools play through the weekend.
And you can
one game a day.
And you can easily do that with baseball, because baseball, everybody's out of school now, so it doesn't matter what day you play. So they should easily be able to do that. And I thought they've that for a long time. Like, why go all the way allowing them to play 2 out of 3, and then in the semis and the finals it's 1 game. So and that hurts the teams that are better. But yeah, so Smith Valley takes on Aledo for the state championship, 7 p.m. Friday night. Check it out. They'll broadcast it, I think, on NFHS, or if not, go to the game at Dell Diamond, 7 o'clock. All right, let's go to Swan Dive of the week. And we're going to go to game 6, the final game where the Knicks were done in. And we're going to look at the first half team total under 57.5 was the number, okay?
Weren't you on the right side of this?
Damn straight I was.
God, so you're one, but yeah,
I'm on a heater right now. I'm not normally this lucky.
I'm gonna remind you during football season when you lose like 2 in a row and you're losing your mind.
That's fair. But okay, so right here, there's 4 under 5 minutes to go, and you're in a good position. Only 41 for the Pacers, right? So you're still needing 17 points to push this over. We're gonna fast forward here now. Okay, a minute 35 to go. The Knicks have the ball. A minute 30 left. You still need 7 points, so you need 3 possessions here. So you need quick possessions from the Knicks. Brunson's got it, guarded by Nembhard here. He's going to drive it in, throw it up, get it to go. But still, you need 3 possessions, all right? And I fast-forwarded through the clip by accident. But Siakam's, they're going to take a long time here. Siakam's going to get fouled with a minute to go. But you still need 3 possessions, so he's got to make both. Otherwise, you need 2 threes after this. He gets the first one to go, okay, with a minute to go, gets the second. So now you need 5 points. If you're on the over, if you're on the under, you have to dodge 5 points, all right? So Knicks have it. If you're on the under, you're like, just take a long possession here. Just take a long possession, we'll be good. And they are. They're milking some clock. We're down to 50 seconds. The longer, the better. If they run another 10 seconds, we're fine. Anunoby inside finds Towns, puts it up and in. All right, 45 seconds to go. Just don't go 2 for 1 and make sure it's a 2, all right? Make sure it's a 2. That way only a 3 beats us on the last possession. We get a kickball here. 39 seconds to go. We're going to take it out of bounds for the Pacers, okay?
Halliburton, what a star.
39 seconds to go. They're going to take it out on the sideline here. They're going to get it into Halliburton, and he's going to take a ton of time. You're in good position. Look at this. He's milking the clock. But they leave Miles Turner, and this looked like it had no shot. It was a high arcer, and he bangs it.
Miles
and now,
Turner always makes those.
He does it with 29.2 remaining, which means there's a 5-second difference between shot and game clock. But still, a 2 beats you. But, if the Knicks put this up late, you're going to have to go in transition, right? So the Knicks are milking the clock. Brunson's got it with 16 seconds to go, 15 seconds to go. He's going to drive it in here all the way to the rim. Tries to find Mitchell Robinson. It's taken away. A fast break for Siakam. Somebody block him, and he lays it in. And the team total goes over 57.5 with 6 seconds to go.
Well, good for you, bad for everybody else.
And just like that, your ticket on the team total under is garbage, and you're swan diving off the Tower of the Americas once again. And the Knicks actually hung in the game here. They're only down 4 at halftime, but just could not.
How many did they end up losing by?
Like 15 or 16. It was.
I remember
they got blown out late. And they were down, like it was a big run late third, early fourth, and then the Knicks cut it to 7 in the fourth, and just every time they cut it to 7 or 8, Pacers got it right back. Okay, this is the head scratcher of the week / I guess the best thing I saw this week. I don't know what to make of this, but we're going to go to Steffon Diggs here.
Yep.
And Steffon Diggs, I'll just let this play in the background, but Steffon Diggs.
Boats and hoes, baby. Boats and hoes. Cocaine and hookers.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this is.
Yep.
He was seen on a boat with a lot of women calling him daddy, and you can see here there's some sort of pink substance that he's got. I looked into this.
That's above my pay grade. That's some kind of cocaine, isn't it?
That's actually a good call. I would not have guessed that.
No. I just heard it. I heard it. Yeah, I'm not. I had no idea.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed it was cocaine. I had no idea. They were saying on Pat McAfee that it was Pop Rocks, but I don't think that's true. They were joking.
Pat McAfee knew exactly what that was.
Yeah, Pat McAfee's probably done it before, but apparently that is exactly what it is. It's called pink cocaine. And
Look at me.
it's some sort of party drug. Yeah, Turner doesn't know what it is.
Sir, if I knew what that is, I'd be dead, okay?
I know you're the last person to know what that is. No, seriously though, it is called 2C, as in the number 2 and the letter C, or 2C, Tusi. It's a mind-altering drug, but it also is cocaine. I don't quite understand. They described it kind of like
PCP meets cocaine.
Well,
I don't even know what PCP does.
PCP is a hallucinogen, which it does say it's a hallucinogenic, but it's more like, I think, ecstasy, like Molly is what people are saying, which is kind of like a rave drug, which makes sense being on a boat partying that Steffon Diggs would be doing that. Why he's flashing it with a camera.
How much money did they give him?
They gave him, that was my next thing, they gave him a 3-year, $69 million contract.
Yeah, it's fucking...
Yeah, it's really, really dumb.
I can't say that. I keep forgetting I can't say that on YouTube.
You've never said that you can't say that. Every time I tell you not to say it, you keep saying it.
Just beep it.
Okay,
I love all walks of people.
Okay. That's
special
fair.
Needs.
Well, you're an equal opportunity hater.
Yeah.
So am I.
Exactly right.
So am I. No, $69 million. I don't know how much that's guaranteed. God, dude. But you got to imagine he's not going to make it through.
ACL?
Yeah.
It's a horrible deal. And everybody knows when you pay Diggs, he does exactly this.
Yep.
That's why the Texans are like, no, I'll give you a 1-year deal. We don't want to deal with you.
Well, again,
we'll see how well you play.
NFL is a little bit different in the sense that he got only 25 of that guarantee.
Okay, well, that's fine.
So essentially they could get him off the books. Now, the problem is with it is they're going to take a cap hit next year if they do, because they back ended the deal. So the first part of the deal, it was only an $8.7 million cap hit this year. and he got a $4 million signing bonus. So they're still going to be on the hook for another 15 in the cap next year.
It's not as bad a deal as I thought.
No,
if
but
it's only $25 million guaranteed. I get what you're saying as far as the cap goes, but it's only $25 million guaranteed. He'll have incentive to play well. Otherwise, he knows he's going to get cut, and he's not going to get anywhere near. He'll get half that somewhere else. So I mean, it's
built into the deal is a potential out in 2026 for basically $10 million in dead cap if they want to cut him. So they built in, okay, if we got to pay him the 25, but we're only going to lose 10 in cap, which is still a decent hit so they'd ideally want to keep him. But he will be a $27 million cap hit for 2 years if they do keep him for 2026 and or 2027. And he is 32 years old going into this year. So
I think this is I think this is Vrabel being smart.
It's the way the Texans did it, kind of. Actually, it is.
Well, what they're going to do is they'll probably keep him this year, maybe one more year, unless he's just absolutely balling, and then they'll cut him loose.
Yeah.
But obviously Drake May needed someone to throw the ball to. So,
all right, let's move on to the NBA Finals. We got to talk about the preview. Obviously, the Knicks fell to the Pacers in Game 6. We talked about Halliburton thinking he was the MVP when he wasn't. Siakam was the Eastern Conference MVP, similar to how Jaylen Brown won it last year, but I think Siakam might be their best player. Regardless, NBA Finals preview. We have a likely team versus an unlikely team. Regardless, we're going to get a team winning their first NBA championship because neither franchise has ever won a title. And so somebody crowned this year will be a brand new NBA champion, which is cool.
What year did the Pacers come in the league? They came from the ABA, right?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's weird they haven't won at least one.
No, yeah, they've been 1967. Is the year they came in to the NBA.
Damn, dude, that's the fact that they haven't won in that many,
I believe they've only been to the championship
60 years almost.
Yeah, I believe they've only been one time. I think it was just with Reggie Miller in 2000. I think that was the only year. They were really good the year of the Malice in the Palace, and they got like all those suspensions, and it really like fucked them. They ended up not going, and then they had a bunch of they had teams with with Paul George and them who were in the Eastern Conference Finals. Game 7.
Call him by his name. Playoff P.
Playoff P.
Playoff P, dude.
Yeah, not a fan. Anyway, I don't know if you saw this, so if you saw this, you don't have to answer it. But question: what do you think the series price is here? I may have said it last week. What it would be? Thunder versus Pacers.
Indiana. They're gonna have Indiana at I'll say plus 400.
Plus 525.
Oh, okay.
The Thunder are minus 750. They are the second biggest favorite entering an NBA Finals in the past 20 seasons. Only the 2017-2018 Warriors with Kevin Durant playing the Cleveland Cavaliers were a bigger favorite. They were they were minus 1075 that year.
And did they lose that one or what?
No, that was the one. That was the first year with Durant, I believe.
Right.
Or second year with Durant.
It was they blew a 3-1 lead when they didn't have
Durant. That was 15-16, yeah, without Durant.
Right.
But we've got basically a team that I think everybody has thought the entire year I have thought was the best team in the NBA, in the Oklahoma City Thunder. They've been the most complete team. They've been the deepest team. And I think that people going into that Minnesota series, and I think you said it as well, you thought that the T-Wolves had a good shot to win and were going to win. I said that I thought, not that I haven't been wrong about plenty, but I'm saying I thought that if they were able to get past Denver Game 7 and they were able to get past the mental hurdle of beating Joker and winning a Game 7 with all their youth, that would kind of springboard them to win a title. And I believe that is true, and I think that's what's happening here because they played very free in that series. They had one weird game where they lose by 42 in Game 3, but the other 4 games, they pretty much dominate the whole way. They shut Anthony Edwards down the entire series. He struggled. He scored 5 points per game less in that series than he did in the regular season. And look, SGA is a foul merchant. It's not fun to watch sometimes, but he has been the best player in basketball for these playoffs. And to be fair, he's got plenty of help around him. Jalen Williams is an all-star. Chet Holmgren, I don't love him, but he's good. And really their depth is what helps. You got Alex Caruso, who I don't love either, but he's been playing really good, and he comes off the bench, and he's a menace, and they're really good defensively.
Great white hope.
How do, in your opinion, I guess this is the only thing I could ask, because I think obviously we're both going to pick the Thunder.
Right.
I'm going to say Thunder in 5.
That's what I would say,
just
too,
because
right?
I think that the Thunder will find a way to lose one in Indiana. Indiana's so 3-point reliant, and they can get so hot that there's going to be a game where that happens. I don't think it happens in OKC. I believe the only team to win in OKC all playoffs is Denver, and it was game 1 when OKC was off like an 8-day layoff, and Denver was down 20 and had just a crazy comeback and won at the buzzer.
Right. When
OKC missed 2 free throws late to give them a chance. But it was a fluke. That was the only loss they've had at home all playoffs. On the other side, Indiana's been pretty darn good on the road in the playoffs. I think they're 6-2 on the road. That stops here. Oklahoma City will not lose a game at home. I think Indiana will get either game 3 or 4. Maybe game 3 is the decider whether it's a sweep or not, because I think if they're down 0-3, they probably do lose game 4 in Indiana. Regardless, what do you think the Pacers have to do to have a shot here? Is there something that they could do?
No.
I don't think so?
I just think they're far, far worse. I mean, I think the T-Wolves are a much better team on paper than the Pacers are, and T-Wolves play much better defense, and they just got absolutely annihilated by the Thunder.
Yeah.
And, I said originally, I was like, yeah, the T-Wolves have been there before or whatever. Anthony Edwards is a no-show, just like he is in child court, obviously. He pays that shit up front.
Not in child support, though.
Yes. No. Oh, God, no. He pays that. But, yeah, no, I really don't think I think that's why you see the odds the way they are with, like, over 5-1 for a team to win a series. People have been doubting the Pacers all playoffs long, but the Eastern Conference, man, it's just not anything comparable to the Western Conference. So it's just, I think it's just two different leagues, but these teams are just, I mean, just on paper, the Thunder are just so far superior than the Pacers. I mean, that's, and I don't really have any, me as far as my NBA takes and my NBA knowledge, but I just don't, the one saving grace for the Pacers is I think they have no fucking chance. So maybe they win in 7.
No, that's good. That's a good point. If we're both dead set, they're going to win.
Unless Big Dog's a Pacers guy. So I don't think
he wouldn't even pick them.
He wouldn't pick them.
He would if I needled him on the show enough,
right?
But he wouldn't just pick them just to think they're going to actually win. There's no way he believes it.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't see it.
I don't see it either.
I think the Thunder are just far, far better. I saw that. Funny enough, that I was curious. I was looking at stuff price wise, and I don't know why I didn't remember. I should have just guessed 5-1 and acted like I was smart, but no, I guess 4-1 on it. But I saw MVP. There was an article about MVP odds, and like SGA is -650 to win.
Yeah,
MVP.
I mean, it's like that's basically the odds of them to win.
But I know, but I think that's one of the ones that is like, I think Jalen Williams is like 30-1, and I know that unless something crazy happens, but if SGA like rolls an ankle or something,
that's the only thing.
Then it's like Jalen Williams probably will win. He's 30-1.
Sure.
It's just like, but I thought it was pretty funny. And then one of my other buddies texted me and was like, "No, Chet 75-1 to win it. He's got dreadlock, or no, he's got braids now. He's got braids in his hair."
Wait, he does?
Yep, look it up.
I may have to root for the Pacers, to be honest. And I stand to win money on the Thunder. Would you, if you were me? Would you even would it be worth hedging even for $10 or $15?
I would put $15 on it, yeah, because why not? Because
okay.
Who cares? What do you make if you win?
200. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. 150.
Just put $10.
Yeah, $10 to make 50 would cover my original bet, basically.
Right.
So that's what I was gonna probably do.
That way, because I'm gonna watch the games with you, don't lose your fucking.
Well, I'm not. I'm really not.
And then Big Dog will be in there going, "Oh my Halliburton! Oh my God! I told you."
Well, he's gonna be doing that regardless, but they're not. I truly like. It's in my nature to hedge, and I'm legitimately debating not doing it because I think it's throwing away $10 to $15 on a hedge. Like I'm probably gonna do it, but it's just like I think what you said is correct. They're the far superior team. They have the best player on the floor, right? And the drop off from SGA to the next best player is massive. It really is. It's a huge drop off, right? Like Tyrese Halliburton wasn't even an all-star this year, right? Siakam, I know he ended up getting third team All-NBA or whatever, but I think that's garbage. Siakam, I think if you're not an all-star, you should not be able to be all-NBA at all. Regardless, Siakam, very, very hot and cold.
Yeah, well, I somewhat agree with that take, but the all-star game is voted by fans, isn't it?
The non-starters are. The non-starters. Well, no, I think they actually, no, I take it back. I think they changed that. I think the coaches pick it. I think the fans get like one vote, and the coaches are the ones who decide it now, I believe. But I could be wrong about that. Regardless, yeah, look, there's not much to this series, right? Like, it's the NBA Finals. We got to talk about it, and it's going to be a fun series in terms of, like, I think these could be high-scoring games because both teams can get out and run. The Thunder are much better defensively, right? I think they're pretty similar offensively, and the Thunder have a little bit more depth, a little bit more talent offensively, and they're far superior defensively. That's the difference. That's why there's just such a huge gap here, right? Like Indiana was able to get up on the Knicks. Like if you watched Game 6, you could notice early on, Indiana got up and pressured the Knicks and put two hands on them. And look, that's all good and great when you're playing against guys who are playing 43 minutes a game, all playoffs long, who are burnt out in a 6-man rotation. And you're also playing against a team that for some reason, despite the NBA, standing to lose a lot of money if the Knicks don't make the finals, they didn't give the Knicks a call the whole series. The Pacers got the whistle.
That's because the NBA is not rigged, folks.
That's not why.
Take your tinfoil hats off and
that's why.
Fucking
that's
get
exactly
real.
what Adam Silver wants you to think.
Yep.
So he can get away with the Cooper flag thing. Regardless, I think look, the one guy they give every call to in this league is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So you go put two hands on him. Good luck. He's gonna shoot 20 free throws a game if they play physical like that. So. Yep, I like the Thunder. I think the Thunder win in 5. Wouldn't shock me if it was 4. It would shock me if it went more than 5. It would be very, very surprising. I would be stunned if they won the series.
How long could OKC keep their core group
I was
together?
listening to somebody talk about it, and so I don't want to speak in certainty here because I haven't looked all at their contracts.
I have no idea. I'm just curious.
Well,
if they keep that team together, they could win 3 or 4 titles.
Yeah,
for sure.
It sounds like they probably have 2 to 3 years of being able to keep this core group together. And then you're going to start basically seeing what happens to a lot of these teams, which is you either can pay the top 2-3 guys and just have no depth, which is not been a recipe for success in the past 10 years, 5 years.
Right.
Or you can let one of your stars go and continue to build depth pieces around 1 or 2 guys. That's been hard to do as well. It's just, they make it really hard to keep good. Like when you're good, you got to pay guys, and then you can't pay guys. Like the only thing I don't like about the new rule, and I do like that they're having the second apron, and that you're not. It's basically going to be a hard cap at a point,
right,
which we haven't had in the past.
Which is good. Yeah,
it's good. The one thing I will say is I think there should be some sort of incentive, or some sort of bypass where if you draft the guys, like if you draft all those guys, there's an ability to go above the cap, right? Like you can't trade for extra guys, but you can if you like, because to me, if you're drafting guys, you should be able to keep them if you want to pay them, right? That's what I don't like about it. It de-incentivizes you from keeping guys you drafted because you got really good, which is basically what the Thunder did. Now Shai wasn't drafted by them, but he was traded for very, very early on, almost as if I think it was 1 year in. But yeah, that's the only thing I don't like about it. Regardless, I would say 2 years maybe. I mean, we'll see. A lot of people are comparing him to the Spurs, saying that, this team, no really flashy superstar, right? Like Shai's very kind of quiet.
Right. That's why I want us to just use our draft pick. Obviously, we're going to pay Wemby super max when he's eligible for it. But I just don't want to go get Giannis or somebody now. Because then it's like, okay, you have 2 guys that are paying, you have nobody else.
Yep.
It's like you could get a pretty good core for 5 or 6 years around Wemby, and then, pick the one other guy you want to be as
totally agree.
Batman to the Robin, and then go from there. Because the good news with that is as long as you keep Wemby happy, he's going to make Supermax. You'll have somebody else. There will be vets that are willing to take pay cuts here trying to win titles, right? That's how it always works in the NBA. So that's what I'm hoping to see.
And you know what's interesting, and as you say that, I don't know that we've seen all that many impactful vets joining teams and making big impacts in the playoffs. When I look at you look at the teams in the finals, they're all young, right?
Yep.
Like Caruso's like the oldest dude on the Thunder, and that's like the type of guy who was like, oh, he came over in a trade. He's not paid a bunch of money, and he's been an X factor, right?
Right.
Like, look at the Pacers off the bench. Like, who do they have off the bench? It's like Ben Shepherd, right? Young. Benedict Mathurin, young. Jarris Walker, young. All these guys. Thomas Bryant. Like, nobody's over 28.
So keeper picks.
Yeah.
Draft young guys.
No, I agree.
From there, right?
I'm just saying it's interesting that shift in the NBA.
No, it's true.
In the past, I feel like that happens all the time. You get guys who are. And I just wonder if it's the shift towards a younger game. It's more of an up and down. The teams that can run, that can push the pace, that can get up and play defense, and that are deep are the teams that are able to sustain in the playoffs. It's weird. It's like the less guys play in the regular season, the less time they can go in the playoffs. It's not you would think if you play less, you're able to go farther. It's like the opposite. As people have played less in the regular season, it's like harder to go deep in the playoffs. Anyway.
Right.
Okay, let's move on. I'll let you talk quickly. Go ahead with the NHL Stanley Cup. I know you mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, no, what I mentioned earlier, I think I'm surprised Edmonton's a slight favorite. I mean, the only reason I say I'm not surprised is you have to realize you have the Maple Leafs in Canada, right? And then you have Edmonton. They have as they call him in Canada, McJesus. Connor McDavid, the best player in the world. They have Draisaitl. But they also lost Hyman, I believe, for the rest of the playoffs, and he's a big part of their team. So I don't know. I'm surprised they're short favorites. I thought it would be the opposite. But I think that's probably more just because like the market, what the market's going to do with like the public all over Edmonton.
Yeah.
I mean, you have people down in the States that bet on hockey, and there's some people that bet a lot of money on hockey. But up there, that's where all the money's coming in on hockey, and people are cheering for Edmonton. And it's not quite Toronto Maple Leafs or like the New York Yankees. I don't even know. I guess you could say Edmonton's like the Red Sox, whatever. But they have a crazy, following up there. And I think that's what Vegas might be kind of preparing for, because I find it insane that Edmonton isn't at least, Florida isn't a slight favorite, especially with the better goalie. So,
yeah. And
I haven't looked, and people at home forgive me if somebody's out for Florida or something, or I missed it, we're a Texas sports show. Like, I follow hockey as a casual. But other than that, not too in depth. But yeah, I'm going to say Florida wins it in 7.
So you think it's going to go 7?
It's going 7 again. Florida in 7. I hope to see 7 games anyway, regardless. To be honest with you, I'd like to see Edmonton win because it means so much more for Canada. And McDavid is the best player in hockey, so it would be cool to see them win. And Edmonton, it's just, Gretzky was there forever. They won, and it's like, hockey royalty there. So it's like, it would be much cooler to see them win it than Florida. But a gun to my head, if I had to pick somebody, I'd go Florida.
Okay. I'm going to say weird. I'm going to say Edmonton in 6. Okay. No basis for it. Just, I think it's Edmonton's year. I think series 1, weren't they like a few seconds away from going down 3-1 and ended up winning game 4, like at the very end, and then winning game 5 and 6
against the Kings. Yeah. They should have lost that series. Yeah.
They scored with like 1 second to go.
It was crazy. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
I think it's against the Knights. I can't remember.
I think it was the Kings.
Yeah, Kings.
But anyway, yeah. I think that Edmonton, this is just their year, and they played Florida last year, so they're not going to be shocked. I think last year early on, it was like they were blindsided by the physicality of Florida. And I'm not a big hockey guy, but it seemed that way. Like Florida was just manhandling them physically, and then they came back and won 3 straight and damn near won the series. And Florida's able to escape Game 7. But I'm going to say Edmonton wins it in 6, and I'm not the biggest hockey guy ever, but. We'll do some games. We got some NFL stuff I want to do real quick. Before I do, I want to mention Caitlin Clark, because of course we have to on the show. Turner was waiting for it. She's been out 2 games now. They're 0-2 without her. Just want to say this, okay? The Indiana Fever go from maybe like the best offensive team in the league to like completely inept, like invalids, like chickens with their heads cut off running around out there. They look like non-professional athletes with Caitlin Clark off the floor. I have never seen in professional sports that big of a drop-off in team sports from one player not playing. She has the biggest impact of any single player in any team sport that I've ever seen. You take her off the floor and you go from one of the WNBA Finals favorites to a team that can't beat the 0-5 Connecticut Sun at home, right? Like, they are horrific.
They lost to the Sun?
They lost to the Sun. They're
Yikes.
Horrific. And by the way, Cocaine Bear had a 3 to win it and airballed it by 4 feet short.
Cocaine Bear is the truth, dude.
She cost me my streak. I've won like 15 of my last 16 bets, and only Cocaine Bear did me in on her over-under points because she went 4 for 17.
Hell of a player.
Well, I don't know about that, but she's been doing quite a lot of cocaine, or maybe she hasn't been doing cocaine lately because, damn, she's been bad. She's bad. Okay. That was all I wanted to say about Caitlin Clark.
Thank God we got the WNBA out of the way.
Yeah, tomorrow, tune in Fever Mystics, 6 o'clock. I know Caitlin Clark's not playing, so who gives a shit?
No one's going to watch
No one cares. Attendance is down without her. Anyway.
Does your mom even watch when Caitlin's not playing?
We watched both games. Okay. We did.
True fans.
Yes, that's
Jeremiah
right.
was a Fever fan before Clark came around.
Oh, was he really? He was watching WNBA?
That's what he claims.
Oh, good for him. Well, he was talking a lot of shit about my girl the other day.
She was playing real bad. She
okay.
deserved it.
Okay. The NFL schedule was announced. If you want to pull it up while I say this, we have a phenomenal slate of games week 1. Phenomenal. We've got, and I'll list you some of the good games. If you want to pull it up, you can.
I'm just going to go to the ESPN
well, that's
app.
fine, and I'll also tell you, and
ESPN
you can tell me.
App's easiest.
But essentially, we've got. I'll give it to them. We have 8 divisional games week 1. I don't like that. I think they should do divisional games later. But
I hate the Cowboys playing the fucking Eagles week 1, dude.
So that is the opening game.
Hate it.
Thursday night. Well,
I'm excited.
I hate it, but I love that that's the first game. But I hate that
they
they play week 1. They always play like
Philly's
week 16 and 18.
Philly's going to beat them by like 30.
No, Dallas is going to win that game in Philadelphia outright.
Dallas is
Dak throws for 4 touchdowns.
Hot ass.
George Pickens legacy game incoming. Phenomenal slate week 1. We've got the opening game, Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles. Then the following night, Friday night, we've got the Chiefs at the Chargers, which should be a fun game with how the Chargers have looked the last year under Jim Harbaugh. Another year under Harbaugh. Then on Sunday.
You know what? Chargers are going to the Super Bowl this year. You heard it here first.
Are you trying to jinx them? Are you trying that?
Yeah.
I like Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I don't have him on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
I have no Chargers.
Yeah, fuck you.
Except, what's his name? The receiver.
Which one?
Our boy. Oh, well, Lad McConkey, obviously.
Oh, you got
Quentin Johnston, too.
Quentin Johnston, the worst receiver that you should have. You absolutely should have given up on 3 years ago.
But guess what? No. First of all, I picked him up on waivers. Jonathan gave up.
I know,
on him.
and you go. I think you gave up on him a little bit too early, and I said no, he fucking didn't.
And guess what? I got Lad McConkey.
Yeah, but that's nothing to do with Quentin Judson.
Shout out Jonathan, who was dumb enough to pass on Brock Bowers and let me take him. Lad McConkey and Brock Bowers, same draft.
He didn't pass on Brock Bowers, dude. You took Brock Bowers before him.
No, he could have taken him number 1 overall.
No, shut up.
He could have.
He took Caleb Williams.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
It's too bad. Brock Bowers is going to be the best tight end in football for 15 years.
Who did Jonathan get? Didn't he get a really good player anyway? He got a good wide receiver.
Caleb Williams?
No, he got a wide receiver right after you. He got Neighbors right after you. That's going to be the best receiver. I think you just jinxed yourself with Bowers, by the way. And you orchestrated that bullshit. You said, I'm never taking a tight end. I'm not taking Bowers. And then you drafted Bowers.
To be fair to me, I wasn't planning on it. But then, what's his name? Josh took
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, so my hands were tied.
Okay.
I go with a white tight end there. 100 out of 100 times.
We also have Sunday, Lions at the Packers. Texans at the Rams.
Big news.
Sunday Night Football, we have the Ravens at the Bills, and we have Monday Night Football, Vikings at the Bears. Phenomenal slate of games.
You said Lions. Big news. Their center retired today.
Who?
That's huge. Ragnow.
Why? He's not even that old.
He's only been in the league 7 years. He announced his retirement. That's a huge loss for the Lions.
Well, yeah, the Lions, that's just a typical thing that happens for the Lions.
Yep.
Okay. Well, of those games, what would you say you're looking forward to the most? What's the game you're looking forward to watching the most week 1?
Eagles beating the Cowboys by 30 points.
Okay, give me a real answer here.
That's it.
You're not looking forward to that.
All the Cowboys. Yes, I am. I'm not a fucking Cowboys
You
fan.
root for them
you and your dad are over there losing your minds.
If
your dad's a Lamar Jackson fan now.
If you sit, he's such a liar. He said that 2 years ago.
I'm a Lamar Jackson.
He's never
fan.
worn the Lamar Jackson jersey that I got him for Christmas that he bought for himself the day before Christmas.
He bought himself 2 different jerseys.
No, I told him I was getting him a Lamar Jackson jersey.
Best game's Bills-Ravens, Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun game.
It's best game.
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree with that. It will be. It'll be interesting. It'll be really fun.
Vikings-Bears will be fun Monday night, too.
Well, the Vikings should beat the shit out of them, but who knows? Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson, see how that experiment goes. We've also got Bengals-Browns in Cleveland on Sunday. That'll be fun if Shedeur ends up starting, which I highly doubt. Look, I've got some football stuff. Let's just go through this, and we'll do NFL first, and I'll come back to the other one because we'll do it with WNBA or not. So we got some 10 lingering questions, and it might be more than 10. With Uncle T, we'll go through these kind of quick, kind of like we do with 2 minute, not
I'm
2
ready.
minute, but the end of. Okay, ready? Why do you think the Atlanta Falcons did not move on from Kirk Cousins?
They couldn't get anything near what they thought they could get for him. But how much are they paying him a year?
It was like $40 million.
Yeah, but it's guaranteed, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yes. So then there's no point because they weren't going to get anything for him. So you keep him. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's as simple as that. I think if they could have gotten rid of him for like a 2nd or 3rd rounder, they probably got offered like a 4th round pick, and they're like, no, we'll just keep him.
It was $180 million,
yeah.
100 guaranteed, but he got a $50 million signing bonus. So
actually, no. Let me take back what I just said. no one offered him anything for him. It's just they're going to have to eat that contract regardless, so you might as well keep him on the roster.
And that's stupid that they benched him because they were never going to the playoffs anyway. You just let him play out the year and then try to trade him. You killed his value by doing that.
The one thing I'll say is they killed the value, but the one thing about Kirk Cousins is he's a good dude. So it's like you want him on the team, and he knows that he's coming towards the end of his career and will actually help with Michael Penix.
I agree with that.
He's not like a Rodgers or like whatever. So it's like if you're not going to get anything for him, you're certainly not cutting him because he does bring value regardless of if he's not playing or not. Yeah.
And that just shows you how incredibly stupid the GM of the Falcons was to give him that contract and then draft Michael Penix Jr. You pick one. I mean, you should never have paid him that anyway at that age, coming off an Achilles tear. What are you thinking?
Yeah.
Number 2, why did the Cowboys not go after a running back?
I think it was just the deal where they wanted to get Genty, couldn't get Genty, and then from that point, they're not taking any of those other guys where they picked, right?
What are the Steelers going to do at quarterback if Aaron Rodgers retires?
They'll probably go back and get Kenny Pickett for nothing. Bring Kenny home. I mean, I think that's honestly like I'm joking. I'm joking when I say that, but it's like I think that you enter Stevie Javowski saying Kenny Power.
Come on, Kenny.
Come on, Kenny. Something like that. I mean, I could see them going crazy and trading the Titans for Will Levis.
That's not a bad idea.
I mean, you probably get him for like a third or fourth rounder, and he's definitely worth a flyer. He plays like a complete idiot, but
if you could rein him in a little bit, he's got some arm talent. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Would you do that quickly? Yes or no? If the Steelers do not get Aaron Rodgers, do they go 500 or better?
Yes.
Bullshit.
God,
that's such bullshit. You know that they're not going to.
They could have you playing quarterback and they go 500.
They're going
to lose first round of the playoffs.
Did Buffalo
500?
Did Buffalo make a big mistake not adding a wide receiver and letting Amari Cooper go?
No, I don't think it really matters because I think Allen's that good.
I think he's that good, but I think it matters. I think they should have gotten a receiver.
Well, I think they should have got a receiver. But I think what they're going to try to do is I think you'll see them get a receiver towards a trade deadline. Because they're going to be good enough up until that spot. And then if they're actually serious about winning a Super Bowl, then yes, of course, you have to get a big
But that didn't really work very well that didn't really work very well for them this year with Amari Cooper because he came in so late.
He's a little older.
Well, I agree, but it's hard to work in a receiver that quickly in that weather that late in the year unless you're playing in a cold area all that time.
I think you'll see them get somebody like a pretty big name towards the deadline. They're going to bring somebody in.
Right now, their starting receivers are Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, and Joshua Palmer.
You know what, I know this sounds crazy. I don't hate that group at all. Shakir's been better than anybody thought he was going to be. I think Coleman's going to take a big step up, and Palmer is not good, but as a third option, he's not horrible.
I will say this: if Keon Coleman develops into what you and I both thought he could be, then they'll be fine.
Yeah.
But the question is he has trouble separating.
Right.
He's a contested catch guy.
Always has. But yeah, I mean, they run the ball well enough, and there's enough design runs that I think they get. Listen, I'll tell you this. I think that team, I know that sounds crazy. I think with Josh Allen and the way they run the ball with that offensive line, the offensive side of the ball is going to score enough points to win a Super Bowl. It just all depends on the defensive side.
What would a successful season for the Detroit Lions look like this year? What do they need to do for it to be considered a success? Reach the conference finals, win a Super Bowl,
get to the conference finals.
Get to the conference finals. That would be a successful season.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, anything past that is just I mean, it's hard to win games in the NFL. Anything past that is just saying Super Bowl or bust. I think is crazy. You lose your offensive coordinator, your play caller.
Both coordinators. Not that I think Aaron Glenn is great. But.
Yeah. I think they'll be. I still think they'll be pretty damn good.
Gonna get
NFC Championship.
Gonna get. What's his name back? Defensive end.
Yeah.
What's
Hutchinson?
Yeah, Aiden Hutchinson. I think the only thing I would say is for Lions fans, it's like they got to the conference finals the year before, and now they lose in the divisional round. Like, are they going to be content with losing in the conference finals again? Maybe looking back on it, they will be. But if they get to the conference finals and lose, they're going to be a lot of disappointed Lions fans. Again, it's not going to be like, oh, well, this is successful the way it was the first time they got there when they blew it, right? Okay. Matt Stafford returned to the Rams while Cooper Flagg departs. True or false? The Rams will be a playoff team this year.
Oh, true.
You think they'll be a playoff team? Yeah? Is Stafford just still that good?
I think Puka's that good. I think Stafford's good enough. Kyron Williams is basically, I mean, this is probably his next 2 years are his actual prime. Offensive line's okay, defense is okay, but they're going to make the playoffs.
It'd be nice if Kyron could stop fucking fumbling.
Yeah.
The first coach to be fired this season in the NFL will be.
Oh, man. My sweet, sweet prince, Dougie. Dougie's gone. Dougie Peterson's gone, so
He's
won't
already
be
gone.
him.
Doug Peterson, Super Bowl champion.
And author.
And author, thank you.
It's going to be first coach fired.
Well, you got, I'll get, I mean, if you need some.
It's going to be the Titans head coach. Callahan's going to be gone.
You think Callahan's gone first?
Yeah, they're going to suck early on. Ward
you think
will
they're
turn
to
over
suck
the
with
ball.
Cam Ward? You like Cam Ward?
No, I think Cam Ward eventually is going to be fine. Here's the thing about Cam Ward. I've always liked him. Do I think he's going to be like a Super Bowl winning quarterback? No. I think he's going to be a good. I think he'll be an all-pro quarterback. 2 or 3 times in his career, like that kind of deal. Like he's going to have some good years, have some average years. I think he's the first one gone. Or if the Bengals start bad, they're going to finally axe.
I've been saying Zach Taylor for a long time.
I've been saying him for 2 years. So,
and they start 0-3 every year. So I'm going to say it is Zach Taylor because I'm between him and Mike McDaniel, and I just have a feeling they're not going to fire McDaniel middle of the season.
Right.
I think they're going to wait till the end of the season. But now we've seen the Bengals fired Lou Anarumo finally. He must have disposed of those dead body pictures that he had of the owner because that was the only reason he was keeping his job.
I forgot they brought in Golden.
Yeah, that's a good pickup for them. That'll help, but it doesn't mean that they'll be any better with dumbass calling plays. Right. Okay, which team that missed the playoffs last year is most likely to make a deep playoff run?
Oh, good question. Man,
I can give you team names if you want.
I'm gonna say the 49ers.
Okay, that's fair.
If McCaffrey stays healthy, they still have holes, but I think it's them. I mean, they're still gonna. If McCaffrey's healthy, the offensive line's still pretty damn good. Defense is good enough. I think they could go to an NFC Championship game if everybody stays healthy.
The NFL MVP this year will be.
I want to try to go out on a limb, but I think they're going to give it to Lamar Jackson.
Really? You think he's going to win it again?
Well, because they gave it to Allen last year.
Yeah, but I think he's still going to have a really good season again. And I think he's due for a bad year.
I think he'll have a good year
You
again.
do?
Yeah, that team's pretty good, dude. When you can when you have to account for his legs and Derrick Henry's still there, it's pretty easy to. There's guys wide open. Yeah, I think Zay Flowers ends up even obviously has his best year yet. Andrews missed some time last year. Yeah, I'm gonna say that Lamar wins it.
Ready?
If I had to have a dark horse, I would go.
Don't steal mine.
If I had a dark horse,
I'm picking Jaden Daniels.
Well, yeah, that's
Jaden Daniels is my MVP this year.
He's probably what, 3rd or 4th favorite.
Probably,
I would assume.
Probably.
Dark horse for MVP, I'll go because they've improved the offensive line. Super dark horse, I'll go C.J. Stroud. I think he throws for a gazillion yards this year with Nico and those guys. Get another year under the belt with, and he was so bad last year. That's why I say it. But he was running for his life. You know, he had receivers hurt the whole year. But I think they'll still be able to run it with Mixon, and I think he's going to throw for a lot of. I'm just saying I can see a reality where the Texans are 13-4 or something, and he has a really, really good year,
right?
And they give it to him. But I would say that the best bet's probably Lamar.
I would say I'm gonna say Jaden Daniels. My other one, not a dark horse, but the other one I think is Joe Burrow. I just think he's been MVP basically level multiple times, and they've not given it to him. So he threw for almost 50 touchdowns, 40 touchdowns, and 5,000 yards. It was crazy.
Yep.
I will say this about C.J. Stroud: if he has a bad year this year, if he's even just a little bit better than last year, but still not great, then there's something there. That first year, we're talking more about that first year as a fluke than the second year as a sophomore slump. Right. This year is going to be very telling for C.J. Stroud. No excuses this year.
I think he'll have a good year.
I think he probably will too, but I don't think he's Jaden Daniels. I think Jaden Daniels is legit, I'm just saying they were both kind of coming off their first season seen in the very similar light. I don't think Daniel Daniels is going to drop off, and I think C.J. Stroud will be better than he was last year, but I don't think he's going to be as good as he was first year. I just think he's somewhere in between those two. I think Jaden Daniels is going to only keep getting better. All right, we've got a few more segments. Let's go to WNBA or not here, and just everybody keep in mind that last time we did WNBA or not, Turner went 0 for 5.
No, well,
allegedly. Check it.
Allegedly.
Check the pictures. It's all on record.
Allegedly.
Alleged
right.
Schmalleged.
Oh, wait. Let me go look.
Alleged
Schmalleged.
No, because I've done that before where I've said, oh, you're wrong. And I go, wait, you're right. So I have done that. So it's worked both ways.
That's never
okay?
happened.
Alleged, smalleged, okay? We're going to go to WNBA or not here.
It's time to play WNBA or not.
All right, WNBA or not, number 1.
Zoom in. I need to see this.
See, that's
that's your mouse. Okay, I thought she was wearing a necklace.
No, see, the
Trying
thing
to see
is,
what's going on in the background.
The first one is very crucial because you get in your head if you miss the first one. But if you get on, a lot of times it's like a momentum thing. You get the first one.
I want to say she's too pretty for the WNBA, so I'm going to stick with my gut. Too pretty for the WNBA, not in the league.
She is in the league. That is Lexi Held of the Phoenix Mercury. Good start, baby. That's 6 misses in a row, boys and girls. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, my mind,
6 in a row.
My mind's in a blender.
Oh, we've got him on
Brains in a blender.
We've got him on the run. Usually when you say that, you come back and get the next one. Okay, here we go. Number 2. Is this a WNBA player or
not?
not?
I have zero faith in myself here. Zoom in. Who do we got here?
We're definitely looking on the right.
I know.
Well, we gotta clarify
Joanna
sometimes.
man on the left. He's got a tattoo over his that says "Stay Strong," and oh god, that looks like fucking Lindsey Vonn, the skier. I'm gonna say not a WNBA player.
Damn it! I thought I would get you because you missed the first one. That's not. It's not a WNBA player. That's Alicia Lehman. She is a pro soccer player, actually.
Oh yeah, she plays soccer for God, look at my big sports brain. Who does she play for? Aston Villa.
Yeah, and look, I thought I'd get you. She got the long fingernails, the tattoos.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Kind of. Maybe she's good looking, but it's hard to tell.
Maybe like deep down, because I know exactly who she is actually. But that picture is like, if I would have seen a straight on one of her face without the sunglasses on, I would have actually gotten that one. That was more of a guess, but I'll take it.
Number 3. Is this a WNBA player or not?
Let's see what we got going on. Zoom in. Yeah, that's the fucking bitch for the
oh my
Fever.
gosh, I didn't think
that's
he would get
Cunningham.
it. How did he know that?
I
didn't think he would know that.
Yeah, well, because we watched the game the other day.
I know, I just figured you just don't pay attention
enough.
enough.
I heard she was fucking everybody in town in Phoenix.
She's pulling a Bonnie Blue?
Word around town.
Okay.
Yep.
He gets around. All right.
Word in the press.
Well, and just like that, he's turned this game around, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, number 4. Number 4. Obviously we're looking on the right here. Is this a WNBA player or not?
Let's not get carried away. All right, zoom in. What the fuck? Who is that on the left? It's like a fake character.
You don't know who the person is on the left? You hate that person.
Oh, that's Jamel Hill?
Yes, that's Jamel Hill.
Oh, God. I feel like this has got to be oh, God. You know what? My mind is. It was like Jamel Hill obviously would be posing with a WNBA player. And what else could she play if she didn't play in the WNBA? Also could be Jamel Hill's girlfriend. I don't know which side of the plate she swings from, but it could be her girlfriend. I'm going to say that's got... You know what? I think you're trying to trick. It is a WNBA player.
That is not a WNBA player. I got him. Whoa.
Who is it?
That is Carrie Champion, a reporter. She's another reporter. Yep, that is a reporter. Carrie Champion.
I know who that actually is. Oh, yeah, that's the one that Artie Lang had the tweet about that you can't say on here.
It all comes down to this.
Yeah, which is good. This is what the people pay for.
Number 5, can he do it? Number 5, is this a WNBA player or not?
Zoom in. I think that might be Cocaine Bear. Zoom in.
Can I tell you, it's not.
It's not Cocaine Bear? Are you sure? Is that Joanna Man? Hold on, that's Cocaine Bear. I'm telling you.
Look up Kelsey Mitchell.
That's her.
No, it's not. This is Kelsey Mitchell. That's Kelsey Mitchell.
They look exactly alike. You're telling me they don't look exactly alike? Man, look at her enjoying the islands out there. That is a WNBA player.
It is a WNBA player.
All
Congratulations.
And it wasn't Kelsey Mitchell? Or
No,
is it?
It's not. Do you know who that is? You've had this one before. I did all this on purpose, hoping it would come down to the last one.
Who is
Think
that?
about it. It was a famous WNBA clip from you. Early on.
Oh, that's Dwight Howard's baby sister?
Yes.
She looks more like Cocaine Bear in that one.
It's Chelsea Gray.
She's had a glow up.
She's
had a glow up.
I don't know about that.
Well, she doesn't look like Dwight Howard
it's
anymore.
a bit of a stretch.
I wouldn't say glow up, but yeah, she looks more like Cocaine Bear.
Well, the other one was a picture of her rapping in a studio. That's in a bikini, so okay.
Yeah, Bailey's getting all hot and bothered over there.
He chuckled just a little bit.
That's the only chuckle we got out of him all day.
No, he was chuckling when we were talking about Cocaine Bear the first time.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Quickly, let's go. News or fake news?
All right.
All right. It's time for news or fake news. All right. Number one. It was announced this week that Saquon Barkley will be the cover athlete for Madden 2026. News or fake news?
I'm going to say it's news, and he's going to tear his ACL.
Don't put that in the universe. But I guess if you say it, it probably won't happen.
Yeah, it's opposite.
He'll probably have an MVP-like season again.
Right.
That is news. He is the Madden.
And I did not know that. That was a guess.
Yeah,
so
he is the Madden cover. I didn't think you would have read that because I just saw it on the top of ESPN.
Nah, yeah, I didn't read it.
Okay, the 49ers have finalized a trade to acquire Bryce Huff from the Philadelphia Eagles. The 49ers have finalized a trade to acquire defensive end Bryce Huff from the Philadelphia Eagles.
I have a feeling this is, as Dylan likes to say, because I know Dylan pretty well, this is not news, but they're talking about it. They have not finalized a trade, but they're thinking about trading for him.
Well, now you're
fake news.
I thought I had it as news, but now you're making me rethink that it was not finalized. But I thought it was.
I have no idea.
I'm going to say it is news.
I have no clue. I just thought that's what you were doing.
I was listening. No, it wasn't. When I was listening. No, yeah. Oh, you know what's fucking hilarious?
I got it right.
You know what's
not confirmed.
You know what's fucking hilarious? That I wrote this like an hour and a half ago. And it says 59 minutes ago, the 49ers announced trade for Bryce Huff. No, it does, because when we did it, it was not news.
I came into
That's
this.
authenticity right there.
I came into this not
That's authenticity right there. We got him. Okay, he's 1-1. All right, number 3, Nelly Korda finished 5 under to win the Women's U.S. Open this weekend, her third major championship to go along with a gold medal despite only being 26 years old.
No idea, but Nelly Korda sent a lot of people into a frenzy, a lot of perverts into a frenzy. She's in the Sports Illustrated, the new...
she's in the...
Yep, swimsuit.
A lot of people were
like... Yep, a lot of people were like, I didn't know Nelly Korda brought the heat like that. Yeah, like just funny comments. I think it's Nelly Korda. Yeah, the golfer.
The golfer.
Let's look it up. I think.
Well, don't type her name in because it's going to tell you whether she won or not. Don't type it in.
No, she didn't win.
She did not win. She finished second, 2 strokes behind Maja Stark of Sweden.
Tied for second.
Tied for second.
Yep. Let's see. Her brother's a fucking choking dog, by the way. That kid. He's got more talent than just about any of the Americans, and he cannot
tennis player, right?
Yeah, Seb. He cannot get it to fucking
They're
get
all professional athletes.
Their dad is a famous tennis player.
Yeah, and her older sister is a golfer.
Yeah,
they're all good.
Both of them are the golfers. But yep.
Okay.
Everybody was all in on Nelly Korda's. Anyway,
she's gotten 2 major championships and a gold medal, but she'll get another one soon. She's only 26. She's gonna win multiple more. An intoxicated fan from overseas.
You love yourself some fucking women's sports.
Threats via social media the Houston Astros pitcher Lance McCullers after losing a bet.
Listen, I know this is news because I saw it earlier. However, I will say this: I like Lance McCullers. I'm an Astros fan. Quit being so fucking soft, dude. You know you're going to get crazy assholes out here saying they're going to kill your family when they lose a bet. That just goes with the territory. You can blame it on FanDuel, you can blame it on DraftKings, you blame it on wherever the fuck you want. But the fact that this was a Ruski or a foreigner tweeting at him that doesn't even know baseball's even worse. But it's like...
I didn't think you were going to go here. I thought you were going to say, that's too far to say I'm going to murder your children.
Yeah, here it is. It's too far. There's no doubt. However... there's lunatics out there. Like Dylan's probably tweeted this. You and Will
yes.
That.
No, I would never tweet anything like that. Sure. I really wouldn't.
Allegedly.
I would tweet at officials and say you're scum of the earth. I would say that in a heartbeat. Right. I would tell somebody they're not good at basketball. But I would never threaten anybody.
Here's the thing. When someone tells you they're going to kill your family after losing a bet, that's a hot take, okay? They're upset. You came up there, you gave up 8 runs in 2 innings or whatever he did, and he lost his hard-earned money because you're a sack of shit and can't pitch, and your breaking ball's not working anymore. But, agreed, he should not be threatening his family. However, you got to know when you give up 8 runs in 2 innings or whatever it was, you got to take that with a grain of salt. You have to. It's not a serious threat. The guy's not going to kill your family because you gave up 8 runs in 2 innings.
Until he does.
No, the Russians are crazy. They're not that crazy.
Was he Russian? I didn't know that.
I don't know. Overseas, I just figured it was a fucking Russian. And if it's an English guy, then who cares? I mean, they're pussies. Look at what we did to them. Look what we did to those assholes. All right, you don't take a British threat seriously at all. But if it's a Russian, you gotta look into it at least.
Got 2 more.
All right, go ahead.
The Mariners are...
And I like you, Lance. I do, but come on, brother. No one's gonna kill your family.
The Mariners are set to retire number 51 for Ichiro Suzuki, but will not retire it for Randy Johnson.
That's fake news. Ichiro's jersey has to be retired already.
It's not retired. Ichiro and Randy Johnson are both getting retired together, though, and it is fake news. But his is not already retired. They are both getting retired. Both are 51, and they're both getting retired.
Ichiro's jersey isn't retired already in Seattle?
That's what it said.
Maybe he just hadn't flown back over. He told him to fuck off. Ichiro's jersey would have been retired in the first 30 seconds he left Seattle. But yeah, no, I believe you, I guess. He was just probably like, yeah, I'm not coming back for it. And they were like, okay, what can we do to get you back to retire your jersey? Yeah.
It says Randy Johnson wanted Ichiro Suzuki to have his own day, so he delayed Mariners jersey retirement ceremony until 2026. Ichiro also wore 51 and wrote a letter to Johnson upon his arrival to ask if he could also wear his number, and Johnson was honored to let him wear it. So they both had not had them retired, and they're now going to do it, but I guess on different days.
Right. Randy Johnson's a man.
I do love Randy Johnson.
Big unit.
The SEC announced they have raised the fine for on-court and field stormings to $500,000 per incident, regardless of how many you have had.
That's probably news because the SEC is a bunch of fucking pussies this day. It used to just mean more. But now it's $500,000 for every time someone storms a fucking court.
You know, looking at like Texas and Auburn and Vandy, they pissed $500,000, okay?
Yeah, you got Vandy fans, a lot of Asians, a lot of kamikazes running after that goal post.
Oh, my gosh. We are off the rails here.
A lot of kamikazes running after that goal post.
It was that 5th beer that did it, you know? It was all fun and games until that 5th beer.
You're going to have to beat that one, too.
No, we're not. That was
you're going to leave kamikazes
I think it's funny.
Oh, wow. So Big Dog can talk about killing people in Nam, and I can say kamikazes?
There's complete difference in that. He wasn't actually there. What you're saying might be true. It might be insensitive, but it's true.
How do you know he's not? How do you know he wasn't there?
Because he was 7.
Well,
and he has a fake picture of himself in Vietnam in the playroom.
Bailey's seen videos. Oh, by the way, I showed my brother that. He was like, that's hilarious. I was like, dude, we were just watching TV in there, and Dylan goes, wait a second, gets up and looks at this picture, and it's a fake Vietnam picture. And I was like, what a psycho puts this in his living room. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
And doesn't say anything.
No, that's why it made it so perfect.
Doesn't say a word.
It literally was like, oh, yeah. He's like, oh, yeah, it's been in there for like a year.
No, it's not. It's not been there for a year. He's such a liar.
At least a year.
It's been there for like 2 weeks.
Oh, my God, please.
Oh, okay.
Please.
Last segment we've got is the big finish.
Can you get her off the screen for fuck's sake? Show a little respect to this room.
We got the big finish.
All right, let's go.
All right, let's try to go through these each one quickly.
Okay. Okay. Let's go.
Big finish. Number 1, Belmont Stakes on Saturday. Who are you taking to win it all?
Journalism.
Journalism is 8-5 favorite.
Yeah, going out. Actually, who else is in the race? Tell me.
Nope, you already picked him, and I'm going to steal the horse that you picked last time. Give me number 3, Rodriguez, Bob Baffert getting it done. He's juicing the horses to the gills. Bob Baffert, Rodriguez,
you just stole my take.
I know.
Bitch.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah, he is all juiced up, and it's a long race. He might win.
NFL schedule announced this week. Which week 1 matchup are you looking forward to the most? I know I answered this already.
Bills, Ravens, duh.
Bills, Ravens. Who wins the matchup?
Cowboys lose by 100. Bills beat the Ravens. It's in Buffalo.
Last week, Hard Knocks announced they would be following the Buffalo Bills in training camp, but they will follow the entire NFC East for the entirety of the regular season instead of one team. Do you like Hard Knocks covering a whole team, or should they go back to the previous format where they have one team the whole year?
It's a good question. I think I like the one team aspect better.
They did the AFC North last year.
Yeah, I don't know how good it was. I didn't see it. So if they did a good enough job in depth, sometimes one team, if there's only like, a couple charismatic characters on it, you're probably better off with the whole division.
Or if the team is shit and they lose games, then you're stuck with the bad team.
I'll say one team.
But I love it. But the Cowboys are going to be on Hard Knocks all year. I'll be able to go back and I can't wait. That's going to be so much fun to watch the Cowboys on Hard Knocks.
Jerry's going to be talking about box
Jerry.
size every week.
We haven't had a call from Jerry. We'll make sure to get him on the line next week. I guarantee it. I will make sure Jerry is back next week. Okay. Brett Favre documentary recently came out on Netflix. Are you surprised that he came off as that big of a piece of shit?
I have trouble with it because I wasn't like a huge Brett Favre fan, but I'm honest to God thinking that he could have been dumb enough. Here's where I think that he may, when you're texting somebody on normal text messages who's a government official, am I going to get in trouble for this? I legitimately think he might be that stupid that he legitimately didn't know. Because anybody that had a half a brain would never text somebody that.
That's a good point.
You would have that conversation in person 100, if you had any brain cells. So I know he got hit in the head a lot. So I'm kind of torn on, do I really think he's this big of... Now, listen, he's a horny bastard. He's trying to raw dog everything that would move when he was at the Jets. Like you said on that voicemail, Jen, I'm still trying. What did he say? I'm still trying, Jen, or whatever it is. But as far as the stealing welfare money, I really don't know. I genuinely think that he just thought it was state funds, and the lady was like, no, we're not going to get in trouble for it. It's, whatever. And he was like, okay. And they built the volleyball arena. I just can't imagine him being that stupid. Now, maybe he is.
I don't know.
But just being,
still a great quarterback.
Being horny isn't a felony. All right?
No, it's not.
Free Brett. Free Brett.
Steffon Diggs was seen on a video on a boat holding a baggie with a pink unknown substance that was allegedly pink cocaine.
Yep.
Diggs just signed a 3-year, $69 million contract in the offseason. This is his fourth team since 2015. Will Steffon Diggs make it through this contract?
All 3 years?
Yeah.
God, no. No.
0% chance.
10% chance,
Okay,
but no.
10% chance. Jalen Brunson says he's sure the Knicks can contend with their current core. Is he right, or is he completely out of his mind?
I would say he's right. I mean, they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, so and they beat the Celtics. So I would say that he's. I know Tatum went down, but like you said, they were going to be down 3-1 regardless. He went down. They were down 7 points, right, and whatever it was.
They were going to win the game.
The Knicks were going to win the game. I would say that they can contend. I would say that's a.
Depends on your Knicks.
I would say the statement's correct. Can they win a title? No, they can contend. I think when you get to the Eastern Conference Finals, that's considered contending.
Okay, that's fair. For me, contending to be, can they legitimately win a championship?
No.
And I would say no.
Yeah.
So to me, they're a contender to win the Eastern Conference. They're not a contender to win a championship with this current roster or the current core. I think the Karl Anthony Towns move was horrible. He's awful.
Dude,
he's so bad.
Oh my God. I've never seen someone as sassy as him out there on the floor.
He's very
shaking and baking.
He's very zesty is I think the word you're looking for.
Yes.
Yeah. But
sassy, zesty.
By
he's
the way,
definitely gay, by the way, that might be breaking news.
Everybody knows that. But did you know this?
The guy sucks more than Michael Sam.
Oh my God, dude. Bailey, he is completely off the rails, bro. Did you know?
Sucks more than Michael Sam. Hey, funny fact for you. One of my fantasy football group text messages, some guy wrote today, Carl Nessib, the other gay guy, he goes, yeah, Carl Nessib's a pretender. Michael Sam was sucking before it was popular to suck.
I can't hear that. You fuck.
You can, and it's a hot take, but it's true. Carl Nessib, or whatever his name is, Michael Cock was doing it, or sorry, Michael Sam was doing it before it was popular.
Jesus Christ.
All right, let's move on. Yeah.
By the way, did you know that the Knicks? Shut up. Let me fucking finish my sentence.
Michael Sam making out with his boyfriend after he got drafted was one of the funniest moments in NFL history. Who can forget that? His German white boyfriend. It was literally like an episode of Borat. It's like, what is your dream? Or sorry, Tyler, it's every gay man's dream to open a German Shepherd shelter and whatever. It's like every gay man's dream.
All right. College World Series. The number 1 and number 2 seeds were upset prior to the regional finals. Never had both never had both not reached the regional final nor missed the super regional entirely. And it's the first time since 1999 that the number one seed there alone did not reach a regional final. How shocking is it that both Vanderbilt and Texas went down?
Funny enough, I get that it hadn't happened in a long time, but not super shocking to me, dude. It's baseball. It's not like football where your offensive line can impose their will against somebody else. It's baseball. It's a lot to do with pitchers, a lot to do with hitting and scoring position, which Texas did not do. Didn't see any Vanderbilt highlights. I have no idea. But yeah, I'm not super surprised. Georgia, which is the top seed, also got bounced. It looks like there's other games going on right now. LSU lost to 27-33 Arkansas Little Rock last night.
Yep.
So it's baseball. You never know.
Rest in peace, John Brinkus. Brinkus was the founder and host of the Emmy Award-winning show Sports Science.
I remember him. I saw that.
He passed away yesterday at the age of 53. That was a legendary show. They stopped doing the actual version of Sports Science after 3 seasons, but he had been still doing segments called Sports Science for ESPN that they used on SportsCenter and that they have on ESPN Plus all the way up until this year. So he'd been doing it for a long time. It was a cool show.
It was
innovative
a cool
idea. I used to watch them all the time back in the day.
Didn't they just used to air almost was it in between Sports Centers where it was 20 minutes? And
Yeah, they were
really
they were fun. They were very entertaining.
Yeah,
People liked them a lot. Rest in peace to John Brinkus, who passed away at the age of 53 yesterday. Last one, Scotty Scheffler won for the 3rd time in 4 starts when he won in Dublin, Ohio this weekend at the Memorial. Scotty will go down as a top what player of all time?
5.
He will be a top 5 player of all time.
Yeah.
And that's
if things
barring major injury.
I think, and like I said, I don't think his ball striking is going to leave him. I think it's always going to be that good. And Jordan Spieth was touching on it earlier this week. And then I think you're going to see him make more putts further along the line in his career. He'll figure things out, and he makes enough now. But he's the best tee to green player since Tiger by far. Since Tiger by far. And then it's just, the putting will eventually take care of itself, I think. I think top, 5, 6. With the big, I think you're going to think of him as up there with the big names. Your Palmers, your Nicklauses, your players, your, Woods. In that same conversation. I think he's that good.
All right. That's all we've got. By the way, Murray stayed up 12-3 on Ole Miss now.
Nice.
So that's all we got here for episode 85. Make sure if you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. I forgot I was going to do it earlier. I give it, as always, shout out to Zito's. Go get yourself a serious sandwich. Best sandwich spot in San Antonio. Support San Antonio local businesses. And I guess that's all we got. We'll be back next week to catch up on what's going on in the NBA Finals, the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs, and we'll do some more NFL takes next week, and we'll try to do better on WNBA or not, since he's actually 3 for his last 10.
I won that one.
Yeah, I know, but you're 30% the last 10, so just saying. 3 for 5 and 0 for 5. That's basically...
I feel like that meme where is it
Jack Galifianakis with the math going?
No.
That's what it thinks. That's what I saw.
I was thinking the other one. That one and the, what's the other one? John C. Reilly, where he's his head's, anyway.
Have a good rest of your week, and we'll catch you guys next time.